I mean, Riley Cooper, I mean, like, that dude deserves a statue. I mean, like,
number one on your speed dial.
Hey, I'll tell you what, like, I mean, I didn't know until a couple days after the fact. I was like, wait a minute, is he the MVP or like we got the all-tournament team?
No doubt about it.
And then Ty Floyd, when I struck out 17, and like stole it from him. But I was like, when has a pitcher like been a part of like 5 of the 6 wins in Omaha? I mean, what a performance!
Coach, it's great to meet you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you for the time. Yes, sir.
Sharp a little late, boys, at the spring game, obviously, as you can see. A couple of booze cruises here to do. Let's do it. Cruise. Grand salami to the boys. Finally back on track. I got another one coming. Don't you think I don't? And that's how we roll in Tiger Stadium.
Just watching the spring games that were on television, one thing that jumped out about your squad is your quarterback room is very talented compared to a lot of the league and a lot of the country. I wonder, is it easier to recruit that position when you have talent or when you don't have talent? Coach Kelly, we're official.
Finally,
I'm
get a
telling
chance to meet you. Thought I had to get a private audience with the Pope. There's Jordy.
Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. Yeah, you see the notification, we about to go live. We got all your favorite guests, we got them in line. It's the Jordy Culotta Show, come have a good time.
Tearing up, answering the question, I thought, my God, if she gets offered this job, she's going to take it.
It's just a crazy, fun time at LSU right now. Isn't this what everybody loves?
From the boot to the east to the west coast, no matter where we at, we live. Open up the phone lines, come and join the show. Make sure you tell your friends about Jordy Culotta Show. Yeah.
Let's go! Let's go!
All right. Nice start. Big day. Nice start.
It's the Jordy Culotta Show, come have a good time.
Coach, it's great to meet you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you for the time. Welcome into a Monday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, as always, built by our friends over at RMB Builders. Shout out to our guy, Rhett Bourgeois, and the crew over at rmb-builders.com, or you can always find them on Instagram at rmbbuilders.com. We're over here at our Click Here Digital Studios for this Monday morning show. Welcome in. We appreciate you starting your week here with us. If you don't mind, hit that like button, share button, comment button. If you have not subscribed to the show, give us a subscription before we get out of here at 9 a.m. Our phone line daily is brought to you by our friends over at Southern Regional Medical Center, Charlie Harvey and Jason Ramazan, BJ and the crew. Real doctors, real solutions, and the phone line today is filled up with your calls. We will be getting to them and starting at around 7:30, 7:45. We'll let you know when we open them up, but the phone number is 707-400-5575, 707-400-5575. Lots to get to as LSU gets the win over Missouri this weekend, 49-39. Tigers back at home. They'll be hosting Auburn this Saturday night. We'll give you our thoughts. If you missed yesterday's show, our Sunday show is always there for you to find on YouTube, on our podcast formats, that we give our instant reaction to LSU on Saturday night, and we'll get into that. But make sure and get your phone lines, the phone calls lined up here. As we'll open up the phone lines coming up in a little bit. Lloyd is here on this Monday morning. Yeah. Stewie is here on this Monday as we get back together here after Sunday. Yesterday, the Saints rolled the Patriots 34-0. Welcome back, Alvin Kamara, as he becomes the Saints' career touchdown leader. David Carr throws, Derek Carr throws to
David Carr.
David Carr.
Jokes on y'all. I was just playing around with y'all. David Carr with 2 touchdown passes yesterday as the Patriots. Man,
So bad.
that is hard to watch almost. I mean, like, look, I'm not.
If you thought LSU, if you thought the Saints offense was
That is different.
constipated,
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, imagine going to watch the Patriots play every Sunday.
The boos, every time they punted, it was a boo fest.
I mean, last week was Belichick's worst loss as the Patriots coach to the Cowboys. This week they get blanked by the Saints, who, hadn't necessarily been setting the world on fire here through the first 5 weeks of the season.
It's putting it nicely. First
I
time
mean-
over 20 in almost 2 years.
Yeah.
It's just tough to watch the way that it's. I guess this is the end for Belichick
I mean,
in
if
New
it's
England,
not,
right?
He brought in Bill O'Brien, too. Like, you thought that was going to be the fix for the Patriots offense whenever they have Mac Jones that worked with them in Alabama, bring back some familiar nomenclature, as they say. And it still looks constipated.
it looks clunky.
It's bad. Makes the
It's-
Saints look good.
Yeah, I mean they're the best slump buster in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Got the Patriots this
either
week,
them or the
boys.
Cardinals.
Yeah.
Well,
Cowboys
Joey
really-
B and
yeah.
Joey and Jam yesterday looked retro. It looked 2019 over there.
The Cardinals
Always
are
open.
still like
A little
they're
frisky.
Yeah, they're still
Yeah.
better than the Patriots on offense.
I mean, the Patriots might end up with,
#1 pick.
I mean,
Yeah,
they would
that.
they'd move off of Mac Jones immediately.
Oh, I mean, especially in this quarterback class.
I would imagine he's not the most liked person in the locker room.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
The Cowboys.
shower.
San Francisco is.
They ran into a buzzsaw.
San Francisco looks like the best team in the league.
Cowboys,
doubt.
Cowboys thought they were about to go to San Francisco and catch them a little win.
Typical. Right?
Typical.
Shot.
I mean, like typical.
We got the best defense in the league.
Yeah.
Michael Parsons.
Yeah.
Meet Brock Purdy. Top 10 quarterback coach.
Jeez.
Absolutely. I mean, look, I think, that's one thing about this platform, these mediums, that has to be allowed. You have to understand that once you collect data, you're free to change your opinion on something, right? And Brock Purdy would be a great example of that. I think if you redrafted the 2021 draft, he's not going to be Mr. Irrelevant, right? Just like some people within the first round aren't going to be selected within the top 32 picks. I mean, look, every team in the league passed on Brady 6 times. I mean, he was a late 6th round pick. So, I mean, they're not always going to get it right, which, kind of brings us into the weekend. It is mesmerizing to see how bad coaching is at the college level week in, week out. I mean, it really is. Mario Cristobal in Miami is the glaring example of it. But if you dial into college football, and man, I watched again, it was a great college football weekend. There was a lot of movement this Saturday in college football. But I mean, look, Cristobal in Miami, that situation down there, that is, you cost your team a chance at who knows. I mean, they have sucked the air out of that program. It's going to be interesting to see how Miami bounces back this weekend with a North Carolina squad coming in that's playing pretty high. That game would have been built up of 2 undefeated teams in the ACC, but Mario Cristobal got in the way, had no idea how to manage the end of the game, and gave away a win. I mean, if he just kneels on the ball, they get out of there and they win the game. He decides to run plays offensively. They fumble it, turn it over. The guy was down, but you know what? That's what you get for putting your team and your program in that situation. And, who knows what that could have meant for Miami down the line. I mean, that could potentially been a millions and millions of dollar decision that Cristobal made. But you look at Saturday even more. Jimbo Fisher down in Texas A&M has Alabama. He's up 7 going into half. He's got an opportunity to put more points on the board. He's got 2 timeouts with the ball and just plays conservative, lets the clock bleed down, decides to go in at half, and comes out in the second half and gets throttled by Alabama. And I mean, looking back on it, it was a time where you had an opportunity to really put more points on the board and extend yourself away from a team that I mean, it was more or less like finding ways to lose rather than winning the game. Arizona's coach, Finch, I believe his name is, Jeff Fitch.
Jeff Fitch, yeah.
I mean, in the second overtime, he's got to burn a timeout versus USC because he's sending his field goal kicker out there. He doesn't know the rules. In the second OT, you gotta go for 2. I mean, it cost him a timeout, gets out there. I mean, it's what we talked about last week. Is there a profession more that puts in your face how much they work than coaches? Well, I got here at 5 a.m., didn't leave till midnight. And you don't know in the second overtime you got to go for 2? I mean, like, it's just
That's
like...
on me. I got to coach it better.
I mean, even like Mark Stoops in Kentucky. What an opportunity they had this weekend in Athens. That team wasn't ready to play. You could see in the first series of the game. Like, Kentucky was doing late hits and personal foul. They, just weren't ready to play. Georgia's come out, finally looks like the number 1 team in the country. But it was just glaring this weekend of just the coaching mistakes that are egregious week in, week out of just giving games away. I mean, like, Les Miles would have been proud this weekend. I mean, the legacy of Les Miles was everywhere. I mean, I thought about Miles in that A&M game with Jimbo just playing conservative when you got a chance to win the game. And then, of course, the Miami game. I mean, Mario Cristobal, I don't know. That seems like that's a fireable offense. I mean, really. I mean, when you kind of get down to the brass tacks of, like, the business of it, like, dude, you possibly gave away, like, millions and millions of dollars, like, just by being hard-headed. I thought his post-game press conference wasn't good enough as well. He's got to, like, unzip it. He's got to be like, look, this is on me. I mean, the my bad afterwards wasn't really heartfelt, I thought. I mean, if I'm Dan Radakovich, I'm the AD at Miami. I'm looking at Cristobal yesterday and this morning being like, bro, what you want me to do with this? I mean, I got boosters calling for your head. That was...
But this is like the reason he's not apologizing. This is what he believes in. These are his core tenets. He doesn't kneel the ball.
Yeah, I mean, Coach, which is, in my opinion, a fireable offense.
You're right.
That. I mean, victory formation in football. Is there a better play call?
I don't think so.
On one.
Well, Mario Cristobal thinks it's an inside zone. That's the best way.
I mean, it's something that is so glaring because everybody and their mother. It's like, oh, they don't have any timeouts left. If you take a knee, you win the game. And what are you doing running? We're in pistol? Maybe we'll still kneel it.
Inside zone. Coach.
Inside zone, fumble. Gonna throw to the sidelines. The loops one to the sidelines, loops one in the end zone.
The worst part about this is that he was down.
He was down.
That man was down by a mile.
And how about the officials going to the tent, looking at it, coming back out and saying that he fought? Right then, I was like, "You're dead, Cristobal. You're dead. Right. Like you're gonna lose."
You put the game in the hands football of gods. These zebras.
The football gods are gonna get you. They're gonna get you, man.
And that's
football
why
referees are gonna get you.
Yeah, you can't trust these people. And that's why Brian Kelly had a problem with the Major Burns situation because he knows, like, you would talk about like some coaching grievances and coaching errors when Major Burns gets the pick. He wants them to stop. Major Burns sees the end zone. He's like, "Hey, I didn't play great this year. It's time for me to get 6." Like,
this is tape I'm putting out.
Yeah, I got to turn my mentals around. And Brian Kelly's like, "You're gonna kill me with decisions like that." Like, I know LSU goes up 10, but he's saying anything can happen in football. Right. Like with the way our defense is,
especially with that.
I don't want to see them go back out there.
And I mean, look, it was a hell of a Saturday in college football, and LSU and Missouri was a part
Terrified.
of it. And you're starting to hear the chirps. I was listening to National Podcast yesterday, which, by the way, I was down in New Orleans yesterday for the Gretna Fest, boys. I mean, if you haven't, I advise it. I mean, it is. Fest. First off, Gretna is a great little town. Mm-hmm. Just right over the wank in the West Bank. I mean, filled up. Who do you think? What's the former Tiger you think I saw at the Gretna Fest? His name just came up on the show last week.
Skylar Green?
Nope.
Jai Eugene?
Nope.
Ooh.
Michael Clayton?
Nope. Craig Stelz.
No way.
What you think about that defense, Culotta?
Can you put a helmet on?
I mean, like, I was like,
Suit up.
how many quarters you think you play this season in college football? It's like maybe 6, bro.
Well, we need them.
I ain't finishing a game. I know that. I mean, like, it was great to see Stelz, but I mean, like, the Gretna Fest, if you hadn't done
Did you see Skinnerd?
No, I didn't see Skinnerd. I saw Blues Traveler, The Temptations. I just went on Sunday. But the lineup was incredible.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
I mean, the
Cool
food,
in the gang, Trombone
food
Shorty.
And so, look, yesterday I'm coming out of I got a picture. I'm coming out of the porta potty.
The Temptations.
And I'm there, and it's me and Kelly. And Kelly's like standing there waiting on me to come out of the porta potty. And she's standing next to Trombone Shorty.
Trombone
And I'm
Shorty.
like,
What's up?
and
Show
I
me your
look at- I
tattoo.
look at Kelly, and I'm like, is that? And she was like, I think. And I was like, bro, are you? And he was like, no doubt, bruh.
You got it
I'm
right
like,
here. He pulls
"Why
that
don't we
trump
get
out
a
of
picture?"
nowhere. Yeah.
He's like, yeah, go ahead. Snapped one. And then he was like, so where's all the food at? I'm like, have you never been here? He was like, no, I've only been
Play.
backstage.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, well, it's a great spot, man. Not to mention that the weather this weekend was football. I mean, like, that was I mean, like, that is, yesterday especially, was just a beautiful day.
Hell, this morning.
Yeah.
Got
Always.
that nip in the air. Feels like fall.
I could smoke outside.
But Stelzy and I get talking a little bit about the defense, and we were talking about yesterday's show, and he said he had seen a little bit of it. He said the word that we used is exactly right. He was like, LSU's defense has to be opportunistic. And I thought on Saturday, LSU's defense took chances and took opportunities and created things, right? Harold Perkins interception, Braden Swinson sack fumble, Major Burns pick six are all three moments that really stand out from Saturday that was opportunities taken by the LSU defense that put them in a situation to win the game. And you have to take the small wins with this group. And I think that you have to almost be reserved that they may be a good defense at some point. It's going to be a long journey to get there. They're not going to be a great defense. What they can be is they can be an opportunistic defense, right? And be good at something, whether that's getting off the field on third down, like Braden Swinson, creating sack fumbles, creating pressures, creating turnovers, like Major Burns and Harold Perkins did, in taking the ball away, or stopping the run in certain situations where I thought that they played well on Saturday. That was Mason Smith's best game, for sure. To just being able to do something well, right? Like to do something good. And I thought on Saturday, it's a small win, but you got to think about where you're coming from. You couldn't stop Arkansas at all. You couldn't stop Ole Miss at all. I mean, they're setting school records. You're giving up school records. They're setting league records against you. To coming back the next week and it looking like, I mean, quarters 1 and 2 in Columbia looked like quarters 5 and 6 in Oxford. I mean, that looked like that was a carryover from the Ole Miss game. They couldn't stop anybody, right? I mean, Luther's a dog, no doubt.
Yeah.
But you can't play him 10-yard space. You can't run him into the middle of the field wide open. How about the scenario at the end of the half on the fourth down, 4th and 10, you're giving up 12 to him. He catches the ball right over the middle for a first down. You give up field goal. I mean, like, I get it. But I mean, at some point you gotta challenge, you gotta compete. And I thought in the second half on Saturday, something switched. And I think it was that early stop in the third quarter that really kind of set the tone. Yeah. Missouri comes out, they missed the field goal.
Started getting a little swag.
Yeah, they started to make some plays. They started to, kind of fly around a little bit out there. But, defensively, opportunistic is going to be the word. A lot like 19, right? When you've got this offense that you trust so much, I would advise all special teams units, fair catch everything.
Caleb Jackson.
I want no chance of giving the ball or giving up a possession and taking one away from Jayden Daniels and the offense.
You wouldn't let Caleb Jackson take one out at least one time a game?
Not at this point, Stewie. Not at this point
He
where
broke on Saturday,
every
Coach.
single. Look, man. I think he should get more carries offensively, but just from a special team standpoint, I'm not playing with fire. I might tell Skylar Green to fair catch it.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
You don't think you have to worry about the punting. I think Greg Clayton's going to be back there. You're not going to see the Aaron Anderson experiment is over, regardless of injury or not. Yeah. I think it's Greg Clayton fair catch it. They're back to that.
Yep, get the ball.
I'm with Stewart. If Caleb Jackson, it feels like Logan Diggs is your running back one, and he's going to get after what you've seen the past 3 weeks.
The bulk of the carries.
Yeah, he's your.
No doubt.
So I don't know if you're have a lot of chances.
I still think that if there's going to be if there's going to be a complimentary back to Logan Diggs is the feature back. I mean, I had no idea. Logan Diggs is a dog. Logan Diggs is a player.
I don't watch Notre Dame football. I guess I was just.
I mean, look, for as much as we've banged on recruiting, that's a hell of a get for Brian Kelly at Notre Dame. I mean, that's a big get.
Well, they added him. They added him to the roster. We're all kind of scratching your head, going, "What the hell?"
Right?
You had 7 other running backs on the roster.
But he was like, I think he came late because he was graduating from Notre Dame.
Right. That's exactly right. He wanted to come back to LSU, but he said how important the degree was at Notre Dame to him. Man. Look, man, hey, whatever it is, LSU's got a primary. They've got a feature back. I mean, what did he touch it?
24 times for 134 and a tud.
Love it.
I mean,
I love it.
And look at Notre Dame. Look at the spot they're in.
Notre Dame's consistently looking at about what's going on at LSU.
Pocket watching LSU.
Got their teeth kicked in, worried about LSU.
Laughing at LSU the first half.
So defensively, opportunistic, right? Like, be opportunistic. I mean, do something well, whatever it may be. Get off the field on third down. Get to the passer. Stop the run. Take away the football. Whatever it is, do something good on defense, because on offense, welcome back to it, man. I mean, this is a revolutionary offense for LSU. Again, I believe this is the best offense in the country because when you have to have it, it is there. It's there, man. Jayden Daniels put his name down in LSU history on Saturday as somebody that you'll talk about for a long time. I mean, the year that he is having, I think he's right around the halfway point of putting together the second best year in the history of the school at the position. One that is spoken about as if it's untouchable. I know that's how I think about Joe Burrow in 2019.
Oh, yeah.
Untouchable.
Class of its own.
Right? But the way that Jayden Daniels plays it, the position, reminds me a lot of it. His efficiency. I mean, the numbers on Saturday, it didn't take him long to get to 3 touchdowns in the air. What did he commit? 21 pass attempts?
14 of 21.
I think it was 24 pass attempts.
24?
Mm-hmm.
But his efficiency, his completion ratio.
It was 21. Sorry,
yeah, 14 to 21, I thought.
15 to 21.
15 to 21.
Stewie stats over here.
Yeah, and then he has 15 rushing attempts, right? And he goes for a $150. And I think that's the game plan you'll see them try it out against Auburn. You'll probably see not as many. If you can get just a pulse on defense to where you don't have to get into these track meets every week and you catch an opponent that is finally not Ole Miss and finally not, I mean, as weird as this to say, it's not Missouri, but you saw what they had. LSU's not the only team that struggled against them defensively. LSU has just been caught in the ringer at the worst time for that defense to not have, like I said, a pulse. Now you finally catch a little bit of a break. And I could be wrong. It could still be that LSU's defense is non-existent, and you see Auburn come in and put up 40. But I think with being able to get off the field on third down, which they were able to do, 4 of 11, which is the first time it's been under 50% all year, I believe. And then you control the clock a little bit with an offensive game plan where you run the ball. How many times did Diggs touch it? What did I say?
24.
24, and then you have Mason Smith run at 15, and I think 3 other people got 3 carries. So you can see that they went in with a game plan to kind of control the clock a little bit. You still had explosive plays. And then when you needed it, Malik Neighbors is in the end zone. Brian Thomas is still there for shot plays. And without a consistent third wide receiver, you kind of turn to your run game.
Auburn has only scored over 20 points in 2 games this year. And they were both against Samford and UMass.
Yeah.
So
I think he's only thrown for over 100 yards, and so those are the only 2 games where they passed for over 100 yards. So, was it Thorne?
Yeah.
He has 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions this year. That's not somebody that's going to come in and light you up. You would hope. If they do,
Watch yourself.
you're back to. But it's.
I mean, he was lighting Georgia up.
But yeah, that was on the ground. They kind of found something there.
Yeah, he only had 82 passing yards against Georgia.
Yeah, he ran for I think over 100.
Yeah, he's only had over 200 passing yards against Samford. He had 282. And then week 1, he had 141.
Yeah, I mean, what are we talking about here?
That's his best 2 statistical games.
Offensively, though, LSU is just as electric and as good as of a unit that college football has. And you're starting to hear the chirps around Jayden Daniels. And I think that you're going to look up at the end of the year, and it may be a 2-loss team that may be representing the West in Atlanta. I mean, the West is wild right now. And, LSU's outside looking in, but they're not dead yet. And with this offense, you would hate to waste a year of it with a defense so bad. That's why if they can catch some footing, the defense, and just mastering something, do something well, right? Get off the field on 3rd down, take the ball away, stop the run, get to the pass or something so you can create more opportunities for this offense. I think that, this offense, obviously, they can play with everybody. I mean, the Oklahoma-Texas game, I think, said a lot about where, college football is right now. I mean, as far as physical style, was Texas really ready to play that physical style? Because Oklahoma pulled up in the Red River rivalry and just beat them up. I mean, that was a physical game. You could see it early on. Sark and the Horns were a little bug-eyed. And, I mean, from a physical standpoint, it's still going to win out. So if LSU can play a physical style on the defensive side and just keep up the pace of what they're doing offensively, I mean, really, I mean, this college football season seems so wide open that if they can find a little bit of footing on defense, that they're not dead yet. They're just, it's not as if it's completely run for them if they can just figure something out on the defensive side of the ball. So, I think
Swinson might be your answer.
Swinson's been the answer.
I mean,
that's an example of like, what are they? Every time 13 is in the game, havoc happens.
And every time 2's in the game, he looks
something
lost.
Something against LSU happens.
Edge is lost. Something.
Contain is lost. But so that's what I think you saw more of him in the second half. You saw more zone in the second half. It might be as easy as that, where I don't know what that means for if you're in the Denver Harris camp, what that means for him, because he clearly likes to play man coverage. They went away from that in the second half. And you saw LSU play a form of football where they just kind of they're trying to keep everything in front. And what's happening is they're having missed tackles at seemingly every level in the defense, so it doesn't matter where they catch the football. If it's 8 yards in front of you or if it's 35 yards down the field, LSU's not around to make a tackle. Now, if you can rally to the football and get some people on the ground, I think that's where Whit Weeks can help you. I think that's where, I mean, it's been tough for Andre Sam, but he wants to stick his nose in there. He's just missing. And same thing with Major Burns.
He just comes in with his head down too
so
much.
Low.
You can't hit what you can't see.
And yeah, he got hurdled.
And he's been in college football way too long for that to keep happening.
Yeah. And so I think that's what LSU's game plan is, at least on the defensive side. You continue with the Pete Jenkins experience. You'll see the defensive line get better and better. They probably will work some more like scheme things, and as a part it felt like they were working on hand placement and alignment. Alignment and assignment was week 1.
Pete.
Yeah. Got him right a little bit. You said it yourself. Mason Smith, best game.
Yeah.
It was. He was around the football.
And they were using him the right way. They were giving him rest. He was fresh. He was active. He's not bent over, huffing and puffing the whole time. Because it was good to see Jordan Jefferson out there. That makes him, it helps Mason Smith out being out there. So,
rotation was indeed better.
It was.
On the D-line, for sure. My guy Pete just getting after it.
I don't understand the defensive backfield.
The rotation there has to change.
I just don't get it.
I don't understand how the coaches sit there and watch Zy Alexander not turn his head for the ball every time the ball is in the air. Watch the other cornerback they just struggle. Like, they just struggle in coverage. They struggle doing the little things right.
Playing the position.
So it's like, why not switch it up and put somebody out there that knows what they're doing and wants to do it?
I just don't think they have the guys right now.
Yeah, it's frustrating. I mean, I think that when you watch LSU's defensive backfield play, there's a standard and an expectation that's just not being met. I mean, it's so far from what is expected from that group in position that sometimes it's very difficult to watch. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's just how much they're out of position, how they're just technique-wise are so far away from being effective, and how they just have a lack of an impact on the game are, it's alarming. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's crazy how LSU is so bad at defensive backfield, in the defensive backfield.
Sam linebacker's your best DB.
Yeah. I mean, he looks so natural.
Running.
Harold Perkins on that interception where he's running, parallel to the sideline in the middle of the field and flips his hips and head and just makes a play on the ball. I mean, that was as good of a defensive back play as we've seen all year, really. And I'm not trying to make light of it. I mean, I'm being serious. I mean, it's crazy how bad the defensive backfield play has consistently been week in, week out at LSU. I mean, it's tough to see that. I mean, they got to fix that quick, and I think they obviously know that.
They catch a little break though with like the offenses that they'll face coming up. I mean, I don't think Bama's a world beater on offense.
They found a little something.
They found something, man. But it's not like Ole Miss.
Yeah, they still scored 26 points.
Yeah,
But you saw Milroe kind of play. That was his best game, I would say, as Alabama's quarterback.
And that was definitely Jermaine Burton's best game.
Yeah.
I mean,
he had 3 touchdowns?
He had 3 I think going into the game, he had 185 yards receiving all season. I think he had a $190.
Mm-hmm. He was everywhere.
In the third quarter. I mean, he was toasting people.
See,
that's the thing. I mean, nobody can guard LSU. Nobody can. I mean, like, you watch teams play around the league. I mean, again, even Georgia on Saturday night, like, that was a mauling, but Georgia, that was a Kirby Smart special, man. I mean, you go back to last week, him in the middle of the week saying that every SEC team should be ranked and all of, like, the praise that he's given the league. And, I mean, I was listening to one of the inside shows. I mean, they were, like, talking about the practice field, how, like, Kirby's playing up the disrespect last week, playing up how good Kentucky is, getting these guys all riled up.
It was a fluff piece.
To where, I mean, they come in and just kick the teeth in of a Wildcat program that was not ready to play. I mean, for as much as we praise Mark Stoops, and he deserves the praise, he's done a tremendous job of making Kentucky football relevant in a league that, is hard to get a seat at the table. They're not ready for that stage. They're not ready for that spotlight. I mean, his guys were hitting after the whistle. They were playing a little dirty. I mean, they weren't ready to play that game. I mean, Georgia came out there motivated, flying around, making plays, looked like the number 1 team. But even watching them in their pass defense, they can't guard LSU. Really. I mean, they may be able to get to Daniels and create pressure and make it, uncomfortable for him. But in the defensive backfield, they can't keep up with number 11 and number 8. And, I mean, another week goes by, another week of dominance for those two. So, I mean, that's why I'm saying, like, if LSU can just, you don't have to even be good on defense, really. Like, just opportunistic in the chance of take the ball away, create turnover, get off the field on third down, do something. Specialize in one thing. Remember, Daily, we're brought to you by our friends over at Katie's. Katie's Restaurant is online at katie'sinmidcity.com. They got great New Orleans specials on the menu. They got St. Louis-style pizza on the menu, coldest beer in town. They got brand new hours on Sunday if you want to check them out. 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. is where you can find them at katiesinmidcity.com. Online, katiesinmidcity.com is where you can find them on the web, or you can stop in and see them on Iberville Street. As we said, great service, great people. Tell Scott Craig that you heard it right here on the Jordy Culotta Show. And remember, on Sundays, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., got new televisions. I think they installed 6 new TVs on Katie's upstairs for television that you can watch NFL action on Sundays. Go check them out. katiesinmidcity.com. katiesinmidcity.com. So LSU gets a win, 49-39. They do it with some opportunities on defense and a good steady flow again of the LSU offense. That was a tough hit that Jayden Daniels took in the end zone, and we talked a little bit about this yesterday. And I'm not usually the one. Officiating, I expect it to be bad. Really, I mean, like when there are teams and games that are officiated well, that's more the surprising stuff. Saturday in Columbia, that was, man, that was bad. I mean, whether it was the false start on the 1 yard line that they missed from Missouri, whether it's the hold on Braden Swinson that they miss on the 3rd and 18 pickup, that the Missouri that they pick up on the long 3rd down.
I think it was 3rd and 9.
Yeah. Jayden Daniels sitting 6 yards in the end zone.
Jayden Daniels touchdown on the first, bush push of the day. I mean, his whole body was across the line. What are they looking at? They call the Kamorian Pimpton hold on the sideline. I mean, like, I guess by the letter of the law, he held the guy. But, I mean, like, you're calling that, but you miss
a touchdown.
You miss Jayden Daniels being slung down on his head.
I mean,
2 feet into the end zone, and don't say any. I mean, look, it was like, man, what are this crew looking at? I mean, you saw Brian Kelly at the end on the false start on the one. He calls the guy over. He's like, man, what the bleep are y'all looking at?
It was homecoming, coach. Sorry,
it felt that way.
It was. I mean, the officiating on Saturday, but hopefully Daniels, who was hurt on a play that deserved to draw a personal foul, hopefully he can be okay from that. But his performance after that, really, I think will stamp his legacy at LSU as one of the true tough warrior type guys. Kelly called him a warrior after the game, and it fits, man. I mean, look, love, like, hate RG3, his insight to being able to play the quarterback position with a rib injury was insightful. And, I mean, Daniels, whether it was bruised or broken, that guy was, I mean, he was grueling. He was performing. That was as good of a performance as the LSU quarterback has given in a long, I mean, that's Burrow stuff, man. I mean,
that's like a man possessed after you heard
that. That was stuff that you talk about for a long time. I mean, Jayden Daniels deserves to be in the discussion from a national standpoint. He deserves to be in the Heisman discussion. He's one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the country. I think you can shuffle the top 5 up, and you can grab whichever one comes out of the hat first, and you can win a football game with. But if Jayden Daniels is being penalized because of his defense, at some point, Caleb Williams' defense, and it might be this week, is going to cost him because the USC defense is pitiful.
Who they play? Oregon? Is it Oregon this week?
I think they go to Notre Dame.
Yes, I think it's Notre Dame too.
Yeah, Notre Dame.
But Notre Dame's offense is terrible.
Yeah, and that's.
I mean,
jeez.
It's hard to waste a guy like
Caleb Williams.
No, I was going to say quarterback for Notre Dame. Sam Hartman.
Yeah,
I want to say Sam Pittman. Sam Hartman. Where you see what he did at Wake Forest, where he's putting up 45 points a game, and then you put up 10.
That's your Notre Dame quarterback right there.
They're calling for that man's head. They want that offensive coordinator out of town.
Tommy Reese, man, call him back.
I'm sure he doesn't want to be. That was his best game for Alabama.
Who's the OC? Al Golden's the defensive coordinator.
Yeah, student tie.
Yeah, just bring it back. Their OC,
but
Gerard Parker.
Easy, Gerard. But Jayden Daniels, man, I mean, just it's
playing some.
Bro,
great
it's so
football
fun to
right
watch him play. He's got to stay healthy, though. He took another big hit on Saturday.
I think we just got to live and die with the Jayden Daniels getting big hit every week.
Well, that's what I'm interested in, is to see how much that affects it. How much he can prepare this week at practice.
I was about to say, I don't think he practices today.
Yeah, he probably won't be able to throw it as much, and then without your starting quarterback, that's hard to get really anything done in your pass game, because I feel like it's going to be a lot of kind of
Missouri
air throws.
Auburn's no slouch on defense either.
No, but what you saw with how they used Jayden Daniels in the fourth quarter after the injury was a lot of designed runs, not a lot of throwing the football unless they had to, and the Logan Diggs show. So you might have to temper your expectations for the LSU offense, because he only threw it 21 times.
Yeah.
And like I said, they ran it over almost 45 times. So you'll probably see a good bit of that going into Auburn, depending on the health of Jayden Daniels, because those ribs aren't healthy.
I think it's a.
I mean, you saw him in the end zone after he got tackled, and that was, I got to get up, but I don't want to.
Yeah,
Logan Diggs was like, bro, we got to
get you up. Get you up and off the field.
He's hurting.
I think it was just a bruise, though. It didn't.
And once the adrenaline runs out,
he was probably.
that is
hurting Saturday night.
I mean, you can see it in the
Saturday night and Sunday was long.
Think about on the
It's
plane.
probably still long for him today.
Oh yeah.
Think about the plane. Ooh.
All of it. I mean, you saw him even when the whole team celebrating in the locker room after the game. He's the only one like, get me out of here.
I'm trying to get out these pads.
Yeah, I need to get off these pads. I need to get into the training room. I need a shot.
And it hurts when I put my arms up.
Yeah, none of that was good.
And he doesn't have him.
He doesn't play with a rib protector either. He doesn't have the flak jacket. He goes straight back pad, and he has like the ribs like the built in.
Yeah.
And they had something taped to him at the end of the game.
Like a little extra
padding.
That's that Noah Kane NIL deal.
Yeah, hex pad.
Yeah.
You got an extra one of those? Take them off your shoulders. Give them to me.
So look, they cannot lose number 5.
No,
they cannot lose Jayden Daniels. I mean, that guy is.
Well, and Brian Kelly said it himself. He's like, how do you feel about your quarterback room? He's like, I mean, I'm confident. I feel like we have the best quarterback room in the country. He obviously has faith in Garrett Nussmeier. We all do.
Yeah.
But what you've seen from Jayden Daniels, it's not really. There's no such thing as competition right now.
No, that's elite level.
Yeah, and then you saw Nussmeier when he came in. Obviously, a terrible situation to have to play where you get
centers out.
Backup center. You haven't taken a snap yet. Then you get a false start because they don't know the cadence. It's everything kind of went wrong that could go wrong. Get a bad snap, and it was just kind of don't make a mistake. Let's see if you can get away with some points here. Is that the one where Ramos missed it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wrong hash. He likes it on the other side.
Mm-hmm. That was a tough call, right? I mean,
you could look at that.
Obvious that he missed it.
It went right over the top.
Yeah, it went over the top, but it didn't go through before it passed the upright. Like
it looked like if the upright extends forever, it would have.
Yeah.
And you don't know which way it slides. But he was shocked. He thought he made it.
Yeah,
but that's every golfer that misses a 3-footer that goes, how did that not go in?
Damn.
Hit a pebble.
Right.
But I mean, he's been solid.
No, he has been. No, I think Ramos, from a special team standpoint, has been solid. I mean, and really the Bramblett punt at the end of the game set up.
That was perfect.
And set them back into the 5-yard line. I mean,
Missouri's punter wanted to go hide.
My God. They both had 2 bad ones. Bramblett had a bad one, and so did Missouri's punter. But
and look, Bramblett's been due for one.
It was only punted 11 times.
Yeah.
Like, Coach, I'm not exactly
I'm not
loose.
warm
at
all.
Oh God, y'all need me twice?
Right.
Because you warm this thing up.
Got a great bounce on this first punt that sets Missouri back because it bounced probably at the 35 and ends up inside the 15. So that wasn't a great punt either. The second one bounces the other way, and it checks up at the 35 and goes to the 50. And then Missouri's punter. I mean, the ref didn't even know where to spot it. It was so bad. He stopped once, and they're like, keep it moving.
Nah, keep
it moving. Another 15.
I mean, he brought it past the 50.
Yeah. I mean, that probably was a 9-yard punt. Which is tough.
Yes.
Because you don't know what you have on special teams, really. Like, you haven't had to use Bramblett in a tough spot. Ramos hasn't kicked anything outside of a 35-yarder. The one that he did, he was short. Yeah. So you got to get pretty close. Where you feel confident in Ramos' leg. He said he could hit it from 50. I do not think he can. But, like, 45 seems to be the max.
He's going to be put in a situation here at some point.
At Tiger Stadium or in Tuscaloosa.
Oh, God.
Well, I mean, where LSU now, 5 of their last 6 at home.
Yep.
Right? The only road trip is to
Alabama.
Tuscaloosa. You're Auburn this weekend.
Army
coming in here.
Army.
Army, who's a physical team. Like, I mean, anybody who think that's going to be a week off.
Oh, God.
Like, you're going to have to play, at least going to have to play a half.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, they don't run the option anymore.
No, they don't, but they are physical.
Well, yeah, that's the art. I hope so. What are we paying for?
And then
$600 billion over there.
And then the bye week, obviously.
That's going to be such a needed thing.
And
Like,
oh man,
get to the bye.
Yeah, get to the bye.
Like, just get to the bye.
Get to the bye. And then it's on. Then you're finishing the season with Bama, Florida, and A&M.
Georgia State and A&M. God, it feels like the season has flown by, but you got the meat and potatoes left.
Yeah, you're about to pull into it. You're about to go through the gauntlet.
Go.
But like
Florida
you said,
doesn't feel like that.
5
big
of
of a
6 at home.
Yeah.
Good thing. Like these offenses aren't the first 5 or 6 offenses you face though.
Right.
Like it isn't Florida State. It ain't Ole Miss. It ain't Missouri, Arkansas. Like it ain't those offenses. You'll get a whole different look. So.
Yeah. Hopefully, if you're LSU, you take this Auburn game and it's one that you feel like you handled business. It's not a
keep them in the game.
What LSU has got to start doing is starting fast.
Mm-hmm.
They get down in every game.
Yeah, they get down. Yeah,
like early too, like quick. You're like, hey, ain't nothing.
That's what happens when you have a bad defense.
I just sat down.
And they tried to alleviate that.
I mean, it was 4 plays and they were in the end zone on Saturday.
I just poured a drink.
Yeah. Game started yet? Like, yeah, you're down 8.
Shit.
Fuck.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They went for 2? Oh, yeah. And got it. Easily.
And LSU was like outnumbering them on that. Like, they're outnumbered.
That was where you were like, oh, they still don't know what they're doing.
And they're looking around
like they have no idea what's going on. What'd they do this week? I mean, it was like they did not know. And that was the part about Missouri. Like, Missouri, it was in their game plan.
Oh, yeah.
That they were saying, like, we're coming out. We're going to punk LSU.
Yeah.
Like, we are going to show them that we're not little brother anymore. We're not little brother in this league, and that when a heavyweight and a brand pulls into Como, they're going to be ready to play. I mean, that place was rocking. You could see it early. They were getting personal fouls early on.
Yep.
I mean, they had scouted LSU. Drinkowitz is like out on the field, fist pumping and yeah. I mean, like he was feeling it. I mean, like
his teeth are too big for his mouth.
Yeah, something's weird about him.
Yeah, he got those big veneers. But that's been the game plan against LSU every week. It feels like.
Well, I mean, if you see the Florida State film, why would it not be?
Go try to take their soul early. And LSU, obviously people think LSU is soft, but I think it's been coached into them to. You would hope that some of these things would be penalties, right? Like if you hit Jayden Daniels late, I mean, Will Campbell, I don't know what he got called for. He blocked a man into the student section. They think that's a penalty.
He was trying to
make a statement. Yeah.
But I liked it.
But how was that? How are you to call that? And then you see Jayden Daniels 2 yards in the end zone and get. I mean, it's a cheap shot.
I mean, he hit him in the just.
He was stopped. He was at a dead stop, and you get punked, and you don't want LSU to do anything there because you're trying to score.
They would have definitely called it on LSU.
Oh, absolutely. Always the second guy. And then whenever they try to do the tush push, they get in the end zone, they try to do it again, he rips his helmet off. Like, those are things that Missouri was coached into him to be like, go do a little something dirty.
Do whatever you want.
See what happens.
See if they call it.
All right, phone lines are open, 707-400-5575, 707-400-5575 is the phone number. We'll come back. We'll start to open up the phone line and take your calls. Remember, Daily, we're brought to you by our friends over at Go Roof, GEAUX Roof.com. Get in touch with Go Roof online or dial them up at 225-927-8300. When you call 225-927-8300, you get a beautiful roof every single time. It doesn't matter if it's residential roofing or commercial roofing or even roofing repairs. Go Roof can help you out today. GEAUX Roof.com, and you also get a 2-year free workmanship guarantee with all new roof installations. Online, GEAUXroof.com. Competitive pricing, free quotes, and free roof inspections when you call our friends over at Go Roof. You should choose Go Roof because you get a free quote. As we said, you get 15 years of experience. They're licensed and insured and been proudly supporting our community since 2005. Tell them that you heard it here on the Culotta Show, 225-927-8300 and online at GEAUXroof.com. We'll be back with more of the show and your phone calls next. Line them up here, 707-400-5575. We'll open up the phone lines next here from our Click Here Digital Studios. Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, A-Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. A-Bears can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. A-Bears Lawn Maintenance.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Here you go.
Thanks.
And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
Hey Tiger fans, when you're traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, make sure to visit Tom and Wright Granning at Go Mart and On The Go Deli, where you can fill up your tank and your belly. Go Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need on your trip. Located at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left. Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff, where the Po' Boys are so good you'll swear you're in Cajun country.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Let's be strong. Let's spell greatness from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
When law enforcement needed John Stefanski's help,
he stepped up and passed the toughest fentanyl trafficking law in America.
He's always had our back.
As Attorney General, I trust him.
I trust him. I trust John Stefanski to stand with law enforcement
and Louisiana families
to fight back against violent crime.
I'm with John Stefanski.
I'm with John Stefanski.
I'm with John.
I'm with John Stefanski.
I'm with John Stefanski for Attorney General.
I'm with John Stefanski for Attorney General.
If you're in the market for a mortgage lender, you need to start with Doug Bickley and his team. Bickley has built a crew with over 50 years of combined lending experience. They've been in business for over 20 years, and they love helping their clients achieve the American dream of home ownership. They're also key with working in real estate agents and helping their clients getting same-day pre-approval. They average about one buyer a day getting them in a home. If you want to get in touch with Doug and his crew, it's easy. Call them 225-214-5154. 225-214-5154. Go see the Bickley team today. They're located on the corner of Coursey Boulevard and Sherwood Forest right here in Baton Rouge.
What's up?
What's happening?
Chilling with a couple of cool guys. You?
Chilling and watching some tube. Hold on.
Did you do it?
Hold on. Did you do it?
Roof's up.
Hold on.
Roof's up.
Roof's up.
Roof's up.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
Beautiful roof every single time.
True. True.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
put the cart before the horse. That'd be like, will you marry me?
Do I know you?
Never sign a contract with a roofer before he gets on your roof. Call Go Roof instead. We offer a free, no-obligation inspection. A beautiful roof every shingle time. Bobby, goes in the front.
Roof, roof, Go Roof.
Offensive player of the game from LSU, Joe Burrow.
Football is life. Football is Joe Burrow.
Click Here Digital, the home of the Jordy Culotta Show. Online at clickheredigital.com. If you're looking to set Google ads, set social media campaigns, learn about SEO, display video, or even creative, Click Here Digital has the answer for you. Online at clickheredigital.com or email me directly, Jordy at clickheredigital.com. All right, remember our giveaway with our friends over at Signa Frames. You got to find Signa Frames on Instagram. Easy, just search them at Signa Frames. Make sure and give them a like, follow them there, and jump in the comments and tag 3 people. Leave a comment and tag 3 people, and you will be entered to win our giveaway, the Drew Brees jersey that's sitting right here to the right of me. And we also have 2 tickets, compliments of our friend Tom Granning over at Go Mart out in Natchez. For Thursday's matchup with the Jacksonville Jaguars and the New Orleans Saints. That'll be Thursday, October 19th, inside the Dome. The giveaway will go through this Thursday, October 12th, and we'll announce our winner on Friday the 13th. We will announce who is our winner. But you still have an opportunity to jump over to Signa Frames, give them a follow on Instagram, jump in the comments, leave a comment, and tag 3 people, and you will be entered to win a Drew Brees signed jersey along with a couple of tickets to the Saints and Jaguars game coming up on Thursday, October 19th. So get over there and jump in. We appreciate you being involved over here at the Jordy Culotta Show, and our friends over at Signa Frames and Go Mart helping us out with a pretty cool fall giveaway here in football season. Any chats? Anything inside the chat looking and standing out?
Oh, it seems
Lloyd?
like the Nussmeier Jayden Daniels conversation is resurrected again, with some people thinking maybe
Ow.
Nussmeier was never it. And we got Holy Bull in the chat that wants to he thinks that LSU is going to go after quarterback in the portal for next year, which I wouldn't be surprised if they did, just to get maybe some experience. But there's no way you don't think that this is Nussmeier's team next year.
Right. No,
So-
I think without question this will be Nussmeier's
And
team.
if you're judging him off that 3-play sample size, I don't think that was an ideal scenario for Nussmeier to come in and show you anything. New center, Jayden Daniels just got hurt.
It was a tough spot.
That's the toughest spot you could come in.
And you got to allow somebody an opportunity to settle into the game. I mean, that was not the ideal situation. Sure, I mean, they would have liked it to work out different, but I mean, you can't put that on 13 at all. You know, I mean, I think that they have to have a, you know, I mean, that's a little unfair to judge somebody on what the future is going to look like at that position off of those 3 plays in Columbia. That was a hell of an environment on Saturday.
It was. It seemed like they were. I mean, it was hyped up. Obviously, if you want, we said it would be that way, and I think that you're right with the take of, thank God it was at 11 a.m. and not 6 p.m. Because if you get off to a start like that, a night game, it probably gets a little bit. There's a chance it might get away from you a little bit easier than LSU, who's consistently, like we said, come back in games where they get down. If they're 17-3 or 22-7, whatever it may be, but you always feel like you're in the game with the offense. But if you're going ahead and looking forward to Auburn, I'd like to see it kind of start off the other way around, where you don't have to have that much pressure either on your offense to keep pace and score, or your defense to try to figure it out at some point. Like if you could get them off the field, and you just wanted to see the two kind of get married together, where you get a 3 and out, and LSU scores, as opposed to it feels like one's either playing well and the other one isn't, or you just have the offense that it feels like, all right, we got to outpace them to win.
707-400-5575 is the phone number. Remember, jump inside and give us a call. Let's talk about what's going on with LSU this week as the Tigers will host Auburn, coming off of a nice win at Missouri this past weekend. Some things to grow on from the defensive standpoint that you can talk about for sure after watching this unit perform over the last 3 weeks. I mean, we've talked about this LSU defense over the last 3 weeks versus Arkansas. Couldn't stop anybody, right? Versus Ole Miss, giving up school records, setting school records for Ole Miss. And here for Missouri, you had a chance to get some takeaways, create some pressure, and take chances and take advantage of opportunities that were given. So, I think that's the formula for the defense. Opportunistic and someone and has the chance to make a play at some point, right? Like the pick six, the takeaway by Perkins, the play that Braden Swinson made. I mean, those are all things that, sure, it's beautiful to see all three of those come in one half. But if you can get one of those, a week over a 4-quarter stretch where you can just get one takeaway, one big play, one opportunity to take and create a stop, that is what LSU is going to have defensively to really be successful. Is just, a couple of stops a game is something that could, really kind of create some wins because the offense is just so good. I mean, the offense is just that good where, they don't need much. I mean, if they're going to give you 50 a week, then they should be able to win the game.
If you don't have, and let's say you don't have Jayden Daniels this week, where do you think? I mean, obviously the offense is different because a lot of what they've put in is based off Jayden Daniels' ability to run. If you see a Nussmeier come in that scenario, you don't know how hurt he is. In Jayden Daniels' part, do you see them go back to more of a? I mean, how much do you trust him to throw it 30 times a game?
Nussmeier?
Yeah.
I think that the offense. That the offense is built around Thomas and Neighbors.
Yeah,
I really do. I mean,
that's what makes the run game work.
The passing offense. So I think that you can't, and Nussmeier is not going to be able to give you on the ground what Daniels does, right? I mean, he may be a small threat, but he's not the threat that Daniels is.
No.
So I think from the passing standpoint, not a lot changes.
Yeah, that's what you would have to do.
Right? I mean, it may be even more. I would say that, he threw it 21 times this past Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I think that you would probably see that number blow
31
to about 26 to 30.
Yeah.
And I think that would probably be the consistent window that it would land in with Nussmeier every week because you're taking away some of those runs that you give to Daniels. You're giving more runs to Diggs. You'd probably see a second back be featured more with Nussmeier just because of the run game being.
Yeah, you lose a threat.
Sure.
And I think that's what would hurt that's why I would think they would throw it more because you lose that. I think a lot of what Logan's success has been is predicated off of Jayden Daniels' ability to run it. You got to account for two guys back there, and we talked about this yesterday where it was people. I mean, they judged him so harshly on his he should have given it there, he should have kept it there. You're not going to get that right 10 out of 10 times. You're making an instinctual read that. It's like almost throwing into coverage. You don't know which one to pick.
He did miss that read more than I've seen him miss it all season.
He likes to get himself involved early.
Arbach from DFW asks, with Anderson and Hilton out, did any of the freshman wide receivers play on Saturday? They did not. We were talking about that before the show. It was surprising not to see any of those guys stepping up with that third wide receiver spot open. Our phone lines are open. 707-400-5575 is the phone number. Jump aboard to the phone lines we go. Here from Click Here Digital. Have a take, don't suck. What's your name? Where you're calling from?
How you doing? This is Atiba Dozard. I'm calling from the great city of Lafayette, Louisiana.
All right. What's on your mind?
Oh man, listen. I'm kind of I don't know how to take it with watching LSU, man. LSU defense. I believe House needs to go like last week. I mean, I'm a faithful fan of LSU, and it's just hard watching DBs play 10 to 15 yards off the ball. I I'm an ex-college cornerback, and I know coverage, but I know players on Madden who could scheme up a better coverage than House playing 15 yards off the ball. And I don't understand the scheme. I don't understand the personnel. I mean, we have Denver, we have LeTerrence. You could play bump and run coverage and start blitzing. This bend but don't break, this 15-yard cushion, it's just not successful, and I don't understand why they just keep rolling it out every week and trying to, that's like the definition of insanity. You keep doing the same thing, and you're not getting different, you're getting the same results, expecting different results. And that's just my take. I appreciate y'all calling me, Jerry.
Absolutely. I appreciate you calling in, man. Thanks for listening over in Lafayette. And stay aboard with us here on YouTube. We'll keep the phone lines open, 707-400-5575. Look, I think that's a lot of what LSU fans feel right now, is defensively just kind of what's going on. What's the issue? I mean, why does it seem like yesterday we kind of compared it to pushing concrete uphill? It's just very difficult. Everything seems very difficult, from alignment to tackling to being in the right position, to playing the right players, to all of what, kind of goes into making it an effective group. It just doesn't, it's difficult. It's hard. It's just straining to get done. Remember, Daily, we're brought to you by Hughes Mechanical. Hughes Mechanical online at hughesmechanical.net. They can help you out with your HVACs today, whether it is residential or commercial. 225-658-2147. 225-658-2147. Located and headquartered in Zachary, but serving all of South Louisiana. Whether it's like our last caller over in Lafayette, and he may need some AC help, Hughes Mechanical can set them up at hughesmechanical.net. They can also take care of you into the North Shore, New Orleans, and all throughout Baton Rouge and South Louisiana. Online, hughesmechanical.net, and 225-658-2147. 225-658-2147 is how you get in touch with Travis Hughes and the crew over at Hughes Mechanical Contractor, hughesmechanical.net. So the phone lines are open. As we tell you and urge you, jump aboard, 707-400-5575. Let's go right back to the phone lines here on this Monday morning from our Click Here digital studio, and let's link up with Have a Take, Don't Suck. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Kenny LaRousse again from Gretna, man.
Hell
Gretna,
yes.
Louisiana.
I was in Gretna yesterday, Kenny. What a diamond.
Yeah, man. I had to work, man. I usually bring my disabled brother there every year, but I missed it this year. But, it's all good. We're going to get there.
30-year anniversary next year. I'll see you out there at the Gretna
Yes,
Fest.
sir.
What's on your mind, Kenny?
Man, I tell you what, it's hard for me to keep watching these Tigers. I love them to death, and I'm going to always be a Tiger and look at them always. But, man, something's got to change, dude. I mean, it's killing me to see us let Wes Jefferson could run on LSU and make a touchdown. But
I'm telling you, man.
We got to do something.
It's
pitiful. DBU them turning a crap you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, man. I love the Tigers, but man, it's hurting.
Yeah. No, I feel you, Kenny. It's tough.
Yeah. I'm trying to.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to hang in there. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not one to say change the coaches. But hey, here we go.
Right. Appreciate you listening, Kenny. Thanks for listening over in Gretna.
All right, Jordy. Thank you, man. Y'all have a great day, man.
You could. You too, man. Look, again, frustration, right? I mean, I think you hear it defensively. LSU is a program and a brand built on defensive football, right? I heard Kirk Herbstreit talking about it in game days lead up on Saturday to the start of the college football slate. Right, when talking about LSU, it's a little, you feel a little weird talking about LSU and just the way that they're struggling, how they're struggling, because it's just so anti-program, right? No matter who's been the head coach, no matter who's been leading the program, it's always been known from a defensive type of mindset, type of approach, right? And sure, I mean, everybody wanted to see more offense. And as Burrow came through and the evolution of quarterbacks starting to pay attention to LSU and recruiting was changing and attracting certain types of athletes on the offensive side, you wanted to, hopefully find that balance, but you can't lose who you are, right? And LSU has totally lost their identity from a defensive mindset standpoint. I mean, they are so far away from not only DBU, from just the mindset of the program. I mean, it was built around defenses. You knew when you played LSU, you were in for a battle every week. It was going to be straining to try and get points, get offense, try and break down the athletes that they have on that side of the ball. It's just not the case anymore. I mean, LSU, I agree with Kenny. I mean, they can't stop West Jeff. I mean, there is high school teams, I believe, that could line up against LSU's defense and scheme them. I mean, the first half of the Grambling game, LSU couldn't figure it out. It's alarming. But like I said, I mean, there are things that they can grow on from this past weekend, that if you can create an identity of, you're not going to be great. This defense is not going to be great. They're going to flirt with good, maybe. You know, I mean, I don't even know how good they're going to be. But if they're just opportunistic in the chance of take the ball away, create opportunities of getting off the field on third down, get to the passer, create some type of
identity. Yeah,
what you're known for. That way, going into the offseason, you can start to have some momentum to you, but it's a struggle, man. 707-400-5575 is the phone number. Phone lines are open. We good, Stewie? We got somebody on hold. Let's go to the phone lines. Have a take, don't suck. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Mike from Montgomery.
Hey, Mike. What's on your mind?
I think that LSU has not really figured out its defensive identity, especially surrounding Harold Perkins. I was going to call in last week and say that basically Harold Perkins is Lawrence Taylor, except he's 6'1", whereas LT was about 6'3". And I think they've gone too far down this thing of trying to figure out how to prepare Perk for his long-time NFL career. And they're right. He's not going to be, that kind of NFL edge rusher at that height. Maybe not. But after this weekend, I mean, one of the problems is that, the backfield, maybe Perk's natural position is safety.
It's fair.
6'1", 210. I mean, that's fair. That's in the range.
How natural did he look playing that ball?
I mean, it also reminded me of the Auburn game last year when he went up and caught that interception. It's just, there are people that have ball making, ball skills, and he's got it.
Yeah.
In addition to everything else he's got.
Right.
He's got that honey badger knack.
I agree, Mike. I mean, like I said earlier in the season, it's got to be, for the lack of a better term, it's got to be fun to coach a guy like Perkins that comes along kind of like once a decade. If you're a defensive coordinator, you see a similar type of prospect every cycle, right? I mean, you've got your jack linebacker, you've got your 3 tech, you've got your strong safety. Then you get a kid like Perkins and you're like, whoa, this guy can do a lot of stuff. It's head scratching why they just can't figure out, hey, look, he's different than everybody else. He doesn't have this plug and play position. Let's build this thing really around him.
It's hard for us to understand, but it's like how many times do you see this kind of tweener between maybe 3 different positions, and if you're a DC who you don't see that for years and years,
right.
And then it's like, oh, what do I, putting him at that nickel kind of position affects your whole lineup. It's just like what Kelly was saying in the press conference last week. They just. It's kind of affects their whole lineup, how they imagine his role to be.
Mm-hmm. Mike, thanks for listening, man. Good call. 707-400-5575 is the phone number. Remember, get involved with us here. Have a take, don't suck. The calls have been fantastic. We appreciate the interaction. We'll go back to the phone lines as soon as we have somebody lined up. But remember, daily, we're brought to you by our friends over at Barker Brothers. Barker Brothers Plumbing and Works. Shit happens, get in touch with Barker Brothers. Jude Barker and the crew are available for you every single day. They work East Baton Rouge Parish and West Baton Rouge Parish. They're originated out of Plaquemine, Louisiana, but they do both residential and commercial work. If you mention the Culotta Show, you'll save yourself 15% on the bottom line over at Barker Brothers Plumbing and Works. 225-776-2431. 225-776-2431. Jude Barker and his crew are the absolute best. Get in touch with them today and tell them you heard it here on the Culotta Show. Back to the phone lines we go as we are moving here in the second hour. 707-400-5575 from our Click Here Digital Studios in Baton Rouge. Have a take, don't suck. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, this is Lucius Felder, man. I want to say that I'm a faithful listener. Been listening to y'all every morning. Y'all have a nice show, and I appreciate the comments that y'all be having. I'd like to start, man. First of all, let's start with this defense. First of all, we don't have no dogs on defense. Don't nobody have no attitude. Second of all, we have no leadership. That means every time back in the day, we used to have when somebody make a play, you know what I'm saying, everybody ground around each other. But we have no more of that. Second of all, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to leadership, it looked like everybody was confused on there. Like every time they'll sub somebody in, they got their hands up, asking like, where should they be? Where should they be lined up at? It's like it starts with the coaching. It starts with the coaches. If we have no leadership, the players, our coaches aren't even leaders. You know what I'm saying? So we need to draw them together. We need to get some dogs on there. When you make a play, have an attitude with it. Act like you want to be out there. Just no pride out there for LSU, and that ain't like our defense right there. And it starts with most of those people. It's not Baton Rouge or Louisiana bred. You know what I'm saying? We need to bring back some Louisiana bred players that have pride for LSU. Second of all, the offense, man, that's a monster. That's a monster. You got too many. See, it's a big difference when you got leadership all around that offensive line. We got offensive linemen that's leaders. The quarterback is a leader. We got a wide receiver in the league neighbors that's a true leader. It's just so different on one side of the ball from the X. We got dogs over there from Louisiana. Now on that defense, man, I don't know what they're doing. It seems like that's a church defense. That's a church defense. Seems like Kelly got too much discipline. You need to let them dudes run wild a little bit. Let them make their mistake. But when they come to make some plays, let them run wild. Let them act themselves. Let them be themselves. They're like they're scared to make mistakes. And when they're scared to make mistakes, you have problems because you too good. LSU, Louisiana ain't too good. We get out there and get it, man. That's all I want to say. I want to say I'm going to continue to listen at y'all. I don't like what y'all saying. And I'm going to listen at the rest of the callers. Thank you.
Lucius, that's a call. That's a hell of a call, right there.
That's a hell of a call.
That's the one seed.
But it
is spot on.
That's the one.
Lucius, if we put together a staff, you are my DC. I mean, that's what I'm talking. I mean, like I agree with everything that he just said. Back to the phone lines we go. 707-400-5575 is the number to get involved here on the Culotta Show. We are live here at Click Here Digital. Remember, Click Here Digital campus every single day. We love that over here. Part of the team. It's awesome. ClickHereDigital.com. You can email me directly if you want a spot. If you want more information, Jordy at ClickHereDigital.com. Jordy at ClickHereDigital.com. Let's get the phone lines going, but to the chat. Lloyd, what we got?
Yes, we got one. We got two super chats. Appreciate it. Our back DFW. We have, with Anderson and Hilton out, did any other freshman wide receivers see any playing time?
Yeah, we talked about that one. No freshman wide receivers this weekend, which was a little surprising. That third wide receiver is still up in the air. I think they need somebody to step up and catch the ball. At some point, look, I still don't see anybody out there that can guard LSU's top two guys. I think if you commit to one, you just leave somebody open to have like a 200-yard day. But it would be nice to have somebody from a third option step up outside of Mason Taylor. I think that Mason Taylor needs to kind of live in a world of his own in this offense. He doesn't need to be like the third pass catching wide receiver. I think that you need that position to be filled. Hopefully Hilton and Anderson can get back to it, but I was surprised not to see a freshman out there. What else we got?
And then we have another one from Javon Jackson, super chat. Thank you, sir. Hey, is there any other freshman you want to see get playing time that you haven't already seen on both offense and defense?
I thought Taviano, I think he looks good on the kickoff team. I think he looks good out there.
Play more.
Like, why does he not get run? I mean, he's a true freshman that, I mean, like, and he's at another position too. And, you know, going back to like what Lucius said about the leadership, the dogs, I think you realize how much Greg Brooks means to this team.
Yep.
He brought a lot of that attitude. And like Lucius was talking about, South Louisiana kid, Louisiana guy. You know, I mean, like that's a part of it. But, you know, I mean, like these true freshmen, outside of the receivers, I thought that you would see Sampson this past week. I really thought that Shelton Sampson was going to get some run this past weekend just because of the inconsistency at the third wideout. But, you know, look, they love what Kyron Lacey does from a blocking standpoint, and he's physical at the point of attack, but he struggles catching the ball consistently. So I'd like to see one of these true freshmen get get an opportunity. But outside of that, I look at Javion Taviano, a defensive back. Ryan Yates looks pretty good out there playing for as much as he has here in his freshman season. That would be somebody that would jump off as another one. To the phone lines, we good, Stewie? 707-400-5575. Have a take, don't suck. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
What's up, Jordy, baby? This is Wade.
What up, Wade?
Wade?
Where you calling from, Wade?
Man. Houston, Texas, baby.
Hell yeah, that's right. That's
Chopped and
right.
screwed.
That's right. What's on your mind this morning, Wade?
Man, Jordy, great win. There's no such thing as an ugly win, baby.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just going to be honest, Jordy. You remember Texas, Oklahoma coming to the SEC. They don't know what they in for. Man, I watched the Red River rivalry. And Jordy, those two teams look more like SEC teams than LSU does right now.
Yeah,
Your thoughts?
I would say, look, if you were, let's say that Oklahoma and Texas are in the league today, the power, the order of power, I think that they would be in the top four. I mean, really, I think that you would have Georgia 1 after this weekend. I would probably put Oklahoma 2 because I had Texas the number 1 team in the country going into that game. I'd have Bama up there, and I'd have Texas in the top 4 as well. I mean, I think that Texas and Oklahoma, not only do they fit in the league, I think that they're right now, if we were just, if we were a year ahead, they'd probably be in the top 4 of the league.
Who would have thought that they would look like SEC teams and LSU looks like a Big 12 team?
I know. The rest of the league. Really? I mean, Ole Miss doesn't look like an SEC team. LSU doesn't look like an SEC team.
Nope.
Tennessee doesn't look like an SEC team. Florida doesn't look like an SEC team. I mean, it's Texas and Oklahoma do. I mean, Oregon really kind of does.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest.
Yeah.
Georgia.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Georgia.
Now, Jordy, a lot of people got on to me in another group forum because they don't get on the kids, get kids. Man, they get NIL, man. They're not kids anymore. They're paid employees, right? Jordy, I'm going to ask you one question, man. What were your thoughts when the wide receiver caught the screen and Sage Ryan tried to rip the ball out and the wide receiver got extra 30 yards? I'm going to hang up and let you talk about this, man.
I appreciate I appreciate you listening over in the hoop. Look, it's tough. It's tough for Brian Kelly to tell me that Sage Ryan is playing because of his tackling ability, and then you turn on the film, and I mean he's getting a piggyback ride for 30 yards and just trying to strip the ball. I love Sage Ryan. I think that there's got to be a spot for Sage Ryan on the team and on the field somewhere. He's way too good of an athlete, right? But I mean, he's not a cornerback.
He's a safety.
I mean, he's. I don't mean that begrudgingly. I don't mean that disrespectfully. I think that Sage Ryan has a spot. He is one of your best 22. He's one of your best 11 on defense. He's not one of your best corners. I know that you may be down to just you're desperate there, but again, like I don't know, man.
You're struggling so much at corner that they use Sage Ryan as like a Mr. Fix-It almost. Where
Right.
if you're, whatever position it feels like you're struggling in, they just throw Sage in there. He's never been able to get any sort of consistency at any position, and that's why you see trying to go for the strip is a great idea in theory, but when your LSU defense is this bad, you need to work on the day one stuff to get somebody to the ground.
Get him on the ground.
Just get him on the ground.
Well, I mean,
you saw Major Burns do the same thing early in the year, where it's just you're going for a ride, bro. I understand that you want to get the ball and make a momentum play. You're not at that point where you can take those chances.
No,
you got to get him to the ground. Sage Ryan they put him at corner. He doesn't feel very comfortable there, but I guess that's what you hope to find is somebody that is.
He might be the third wide receiver.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
He could be.
Put him in a slot, see what happens. Run him on a fade. Run him on a post. I mean, he's freaky athletically. I know that. I mean, I know that he has to be on the field. Even in high school, when I was watching him run around and do everything, he never struck me as like a
defensive player.
Never.
I feel the same way about Juwan Johnson.
Never. Like I never felt like he was going to be like this, he never to me felt like DBU. And when he came in, DBU was up and moving. I don't know, man. I don't know. I know that he's not a corner. I mean, I know that.
And it's interesting to see Yates get so much run and none from Taviano, like on the defensive side. You don't get to see him at all out there. And it says if you're looking consistently for somebody to make plays, and I guess I get why they're not making a ton of wholesale changes every week, because at some point you got to ride with the people that are out there so they can get comfortable playing defense, because that's what the back end of the defense looks like to me, is they don't believe in what they're doing. They don't have any confidence in what they're doing, so you play a step slow. You play slow whenever you don't have complete faith in what your all 11 are doing. And that's what it feels like. LSU is on their heels defensively every single snap, as opposed to being in an attacking front. But the way that they used Harold Perkins, I mean, the coach said it on Sunday or Saturday after the game, where he's like, that's probably where you're going to see him. And that is going to be more coverage snaps. They put him in the middle and he got lost. But if you put him on the outside where you don't know if he's coming off the edge or if he's going to sprint to his zone and he can run with somebody, that makes your defense better because you're not wasting his athleticism. That's what they wanted to see. But the middle of the field, like the bullets are flying everywhere, and he just ducked and covered. You put him where he gets either two assignments, you can do one of two things, cover him or blitz. And then you have to account for him when he's on the edge like that, where the quarterback sees him every play and then he was gone. And he didn't expect him to be in coverage, and he throws, and Perk is the first corner I've seen, or the first defensive player, get his head around.
Yeah. Oh, he looks so good.
Coach,
he tracked the ball.
He looked like Sean Taylor.
The ball they threw over Andre Sam's head, he didn't even the ball would have hit him in the head if he would have turned around.
Coach Zy Alexander on the second play of the game.
Zy Alexander, I don't know what his face looks like.
They saw it it was so egregious. They on the
right
fifth play of the game, they were like, run it again.
A little closer. It was less with Terrence Tolliver against Florida when he ran the fade 3 straight plays.
Keep it rolling.
He's going to catch one of these.
All right, back to the phone line, 707-400-5575. Have a take, don't suck. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Easy, Richmond, Virginia.
Hell yeah. What's happening? What's on your mind?
So I'm happy with the LSU win, because LSU typically struggles with these off-brand Eastern teams like Kentucky and Missouri. That was an undefeated team. That was a tough environment. There was a lot of dirty play, but we got some stops in the defense, but they're still losing people in coverage. And some of this has to do with bad scheming, or being out-schemed. In addition, I heard you speaking about Sage Ryan earlier playing corner, and I think he's out there because he's a better tackler. If you look at Sage Ryan's career at LSU, he's always in position, but rarely makes the play.
Correct.
Just looks like every game this season, it's going to be a dogfight because of the deficiencies on defense. And we look at everything through a 2019 lens. And if we look at that 2019 defense, it took them a while to get it together. There's some really, really bad games on defense, against Ole Miss, when they gave up 300 yards rushing to the quarterback. And likewise, finally, I think in Louisiana, people kind of have a distaste for Brian Kelly. And just listen to this. And I think it's the way he comes across. Brian Kelly has worked at, Research One institution, and he sounds like an academic. I'm coming from academia, so I understand him and I get it. But I want to say thanks to you guys again, and enjoy your show.
Easy, a great call as always, man. Thanks for listening up there in Richmond, Virginia, and make sure and get back in touch with us next week. Always appreciate your insight and your takes. Look, I think there's a lot of truth to that. I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of speaking the truth to what he says in that call, and I think that's stuff that we've talked on and we've touched on, and that's why we appreciate those phone calls and appreciate those takes, and love to hear from people that are supporting LSU, that love LSU, that want the best for LSU, and see how and hear how they can get there. Chris Moss asked a really good question. Kylan Jackson, where's he been? He's obviously been.
I think that was just his first game back.
Yeah,
so, but still, struggling at safety. Right. If you want somebody that's going to come down and make a hit and get him on the ground, Kylan Jackson is your man.
I think he's probably missed too much time on the field his freshman season to be thrown out there. They may have a chance to get him ready for the back end of the season. He may be able to play, Alabama, Florida, A&M and keep his red shirt. I mean, where you can keep it intact. So I don't know, man. I know that Kylan Jackson is a physical football player.
Physical football player.
You will not have to ask him to hit. Like he's going to go out there and hit. I mean,
he's borderline egregious. So
right. I mean, he kind of feels a little old school.
Yeah, he was
old school LSU.
He'll catch you some 15-yarders, no doubt.
Absolutely, and love it.
But guess what? I'll take that.
Yeah, at this point, you kind of want to see somebody that is playing with a little bit of their hair on fire, or at least when LSU's on defense, you'd like to see them rally 11 to the football. You're not really seeing that. It feels a lot of hold on, and nobody's coming to the cavalry's not coming after somebody makes an initial hit. It's a lot of hold on and try to roll them to the ground with everybody's still scrambling around on defense. And Cordell Music, shout out Cordell, sent to the super chat. If I were the defensive coordinator, if I had Perk, I'm using like Michigan used Jabril Peppers.
Yeah.
Jabril Peppers.
Jabril Peppers, yeah.
And he could do Julius Peppers' job too. And how LSU used Jamal Adams. I don't know if he's as physical like as Jamal was in terms of like weight. But I could see him in those roles. I don't know why you haven't seen more of maybe seeing him go out there and play a little bit more of a safety or a nickel where it's maybe that takes away what he does well, which is rush the passer. But if you're struggling this much on the back end, you got a freak.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Coach, I'm rewatching the game or I'm watching like a film breakdown, and I watched Perk go one-on-one with Luther Burden and lock him up.
Yeah, he's a freak athlete. That's what you want to.
Face guarding him, in his face on the line, and got in his face and jammed him up, and he couldn't get off the line.
Perkins has never been in a football field where there's somebody more athletic than him.
No way.
Still to this day.
No way. That's why you can't put him in positions where he gets lost.
Yeah.
All right, remember, we'll be back here. We'll finish out taking your phone calls, 707-400-5575. Remember, it's time to vote around Louisiana. Early voting opened up over the last couple of days. Hopefully you've taken a chance to early vote. Don't forget to get out and vote. And if you're going to vote and you're voting for Attorney General, vote for our guy, John Stefanski. He's defending Louisiana families, and that's why he's got my vote. I am a young father. I've got a young son. I know that Stefanski is going to take on crime to defend kids, whether it's things like fentanyl or looking out for child trafficking. Stefanski is taking on the hard-hitting subjects and making sure that our youth is protected in the state of Louisiana. He's been through here over the last week talking about his policy. You can learn all about that by going back and fishing up a couple of interviews, or you can just log on to votestefanski.com. Votestefanski.com. John Stefanski for Attorney General. He's got our vote. He should get your vote if you're worried about our kids, if you want our kids protected, if you're looking out for your family. He's protecting our families. He's protecting our kids. And voting is this Saturday. Votestefanski.com. We'll be back and close out the show right after this.
Malik Neighbors, a wide receiver.
Favorite pregame meal?
Popeyes.
What would winning a national championship mean to you?
It would mean a lot to me because, we've seen a lot of the greats come through here, won their national championship, got, remembered for life.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Probably fly. That or telekinesis.
What's the best piece of advice that you've ever received?
Do it wrong, do it long. Do it right, do it light.
Kyron Lacey, wide receiver, number 2.
Do you have any nicknames?
K2.
What's the best piece of advice that you've ever been given?
Stay humble.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Fly. I be flying in my dreams.
What's been the highlight of your partnership with us?
The bike giveaway was one of the best things. I was pretty excited about that one. Texas A&M, I just got a point to prove because last year I dropped 2 balls I should have caught. I'm coming for them for real.
That's it. Thank you, man.
My name is Harold Perkins, and I play linebacker.
What's your favorite pre-game meal or snack?
Pasta with a little steak, something that's not too heavy.
Any superstitions or pre-game rituals?
I pray a lot. Just be me and God before the game. Perky worky. I like when they call me the percolator. I like that.
If anyone gets in a wreck, who should they call?
Gore.
Where were you born at, Greg?
Hattiesburg, Mississippi. But I claim 504 because I was raised there my whole life. Favorite type of food is spaghetti.
but you need to try spaghetti with some corn on the side. Funniest person, I'd probably get Kyron Lacey. He be having joked out every time I talk to him.
Who's the most athletic?
You know, besides myself, Perk or Malik. If you yourself, just take one day at a time, one step at a time. If you're doing something, just be where your feet are. Make sure you give 100% effort.
What is something on your bucket list?
Win a Super Bowl. That's definitely on my bucket list.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Time traveling.
Who's the fastest on the team?
Like in a short span, I would say quick trigger, I'm taking Perk. One thing most people don't know about me, probably that I moved 12 times growing up, 12 different states.
Who's the most savage on the team?
Mason Smith. Mason Smith, definitely.
And who gets it done?
Gordon.
Thank you, man. That's great.
Emory Jones, right tackle.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Got it from my mom, and she just told me, always keep your head on the swivel.
Favorite subject?
Math, easy. I kind of keep it light. Give me some type of red beans or something like that. Throw a little cornbread on the side.
Light with red beans.
Yeah, just a little bit. I am superstitious. I got some PSDs that's purple and yellow and white. I wear them every game. I feel like they my lucky draws, and you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep doing it.
Edward Jones financial advisor Daniel Newman can help. He'll work with you on an investment strategy for long-term results. Edward Jones can give you the tools and knowledge for a steady approach to hitting your financial targets. Get started today by calling Daniel Newman at 225-261-8262, 225-261-8262. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Belmont Stakes Race Training. I'm sticking to roofing.
Roof, roof, go roof.
Phil's Oyster Bar, a staple of South Louisiana since 1945, located in Southdown Shopping Center and online at philsoysterbar.com. If you log online, you can learn about the private party schedule, the catering menu, and even order online. Daily lunch specials Monday through Friday. Learn about the history when Gus Piazza took it over in the early 70s, made it an absolute stop-in for everyone who came through Baton Rouge, and now Anthony, his son, carrying on the tradition. Phil's Oyster Bar, Southdown Shopping Center, and online, philsoysterbar.com.
All right, buddy. Make it a good shot.
Oh, yeah. Sticking the roofing.
For a hole in your roof, or a whole new roof, go roof. Roof, roof, go roof.
I'm open. I'm always fucking open. Excuse my profanity. I'm sorry. I'm open. I'm always fucking open. Excuse my profanity. I'm sorry. I'm open. I'm always fucking open. Excuse my profanity. I'm sorry. I'm open.
That will live on forever for Jamar Chase. That's my guy. Speaking to the media last week, Uno always open.
Excuse my profanity.
He was open yesterday, man.
Good Lord.
3 grabs, 1 long one, grittying, prime timing. He was dancing.
Joe looked like Joe again.
Yeah, Joey looked good, man. He was bouncing around on that calf a little bit.
So the last 3 games for Jamar Chase, they obviously made an emphasis to get it to him against the Rams. 12 for 141, no touchdowns. Then down to 7 receptions, which still feels like a pretty good day. And he's like, I'm always fucking open. Like he wants it. He wants it.
Give me the ball.
Times. 15 for 192 and 3 tuds.
That'll work.
And if you're
good flight home.
Oh yeah. And somebody from Louisiana was their pilot.
Sweet.
And they took a picture with Joey and Jam on their. I guess it's not a commercial flight.
Legends.
It is a flight. Got to drive. That would be exciting. Let me snag one with Joey B. Especially after a win.
The first one was beautiful.
But that if you're a Bengals fan, it felt like the ship was kind of getting away from him a little bit. You have Jamar Chase doing those kind of interviews after a loss, and now you see, like you said, Joey bouncing around a little bit, Jamar getting in the end zone 3 times. The Bengals always get hot late. If Joey's healthy, they'll be primed to make another run.
So taking your phone calls here, 707-400-5575. As always, we appreciate your interaction. If there's anybody that wants to help us close out the show here and get your thoughts in before we get out of here at 9 a.m., you got an opportunity here right now at 707-400-5575. 707-400-5575 is the phone number to get involved. And
if you want to send in super chats, we will definitely read these. This is our OnlyFans segment. If you send a little money, we'll read it. James Wade with a super chat. Logan Diggs and Zeke Elliott without the breakaway speed.
Yeah,
I
see that.
I see a little Zeke Elliott in him.
Yeah.
He's running through wide open spaces.
He is. He's got great vision.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's got great vision and great patience. Obviously, the criticism on is that top-end speed, but, I mean, his ability to just chunk yards off for LSU's offense combined with the passing attack is just, I mean, it's harmony, man. I mean, it
really is.
I mean, it is just a beautiful symphony of offense in football that just looks and feels and is super effective.
It feels like it's 10, 15 yards a pop. Whenever you look up in LSU, if they take it at the 25, it feels like you're across the 50 within 3 plays.
Yes. Like
easy.
Chunks. Easy. All right, back to the phone line, 707-400-5575. Helping us get to 9 a.m. this morning. What's your name? Where you calling from? Have a take, don't suck.
Hey, calling from Venice, Italy, dude.
Oh, the motherland.
Yes.
Ciao.
Pizza, Prosecco, and Culotta. Can't get much better than that.
Man, that sounds like that sounds like a slow. That's a mayor slogan.
Quick question. Why does BK seem to be willing to play experienced players with low ceilings when they make mistakes, but he's reluctant to play young guys with really high ceilings because they might make mistakes?
Maddening, really. To me, it's my biggest source of criticism of early here in Brian Kelly's tenure is just the inability to play the right guys, in my opinion. You know, I mean, I don't know how many times you got to look at Braden Swinson out there making play after play after play before you just throw him out there and just, let him play. I don't know how much he would be playing Whit Weeks if Omar Spates was dressed out. I mean, you saw it last week. Spates was dressed out, and it was difficult to get Weeks onto the field. And I mean, these are guys that are helping you win. And I'm with you. I don't have a good answer for it. I have barked into this microphone for a couple of weeks asking why, how, and it seems like it just kind of keeps happening. So I don't know, man. I think that it is very frustrating early on here in Kelly's tenure.
Well, then I feel like I'm in great company if I'm got great minds like you that are agreeing with me, man.
I appreciate that, man. How is Venice? How is Italy?
Okay. Man, it's great. You need to go down.
Oh, I will. I appreciate you calling from there, man. Thanks for listening.
Man, I had to make sure I got in at the right time, man. It's middle of the afternoon over here.
3:40.
Beautiful time over there right now.
Oh yeah. Man. What's the weather?
All right, guys, doing a great job. Bye.
Right, thank you. All right, this guy's got to get out of here.
Hey, he's in Italy.
Right. Brandon Hollingsworth writes, the thing about it is Swinson's not that young. Yeah, I know. I don't get it, Wolfgang Frame, Jordy, go to the presser and ask. It's been asked. I mean, they've asked about Deshaun Womack. He played more this week.
They ask about him every week.
I mean, it's asked every week. I know people want the press to go in there and Brian Kelly, why don't you play? I mean, that's not how it works. I mean, people ask on the status and the outlook of players all the time with Kelly. I mean, Denver Harris is asked about. I know that Whit Weeks is asked about. I know Deshaun Womack is asked about. I know that Braden Swinson is asked about. I mean, they're not going to tell you in the press setting what their plan is for them, and they have built-in answers prepared for all situations. It's not like you're going to get down to the brass tacks when the questions are asked. They answer them how they want, right? And then you go to Saturday, and they do what they want. And that's that's how it is. So, back to the chat.
Back to the chat. James Wade again, $5 super chat. How Savion Jones, he's called him Concrete Feet, didn't get that fumble is beyond me yet. I feel like that was an opportunity for LSU to really put the game away. It's hard to hop on a fumble.
He ran into Swinson.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
I saw Perk show eye in that
I thought Perk was going to scoop and score.
Me too.
I
want to see him open it up one time.
Me too, man.
But I do think there's something to that Savion Jones. I think he put on too much weight. He doesn't know how to play with it.
He put on way too much weight.
Because, I mean, one thing he struggles at mightily, I mean, LSU cannot set the edge.
Yeah.
I mean, they get the corner turned on them. So, I mean, like, Brady Cook.
Brady Cook looked like he was in fifth gear.
Run out of sight in a month. The guy was running away from LSU's defense.
And you're lucky LSU didn't. I mean, Brady didn't do that more, because when he got into the open field, there was nobody around him. But I think that knee made him kind of stay in the pocket a little bit.
Yeah.
So I hear a phone call.
Back to the phone lines we go. We are. It sounds like he's got the volume up. This could be disastrous. We're gonna try it here. All right, to the phone lines we go. 707-400-5575 from Click Here Digital Studios. Where are you calling from? What's your name? Where are you calling from? Have a take, don't suck. Michael Morris from Spring Hill, Louisiana. Are we tapped into the board here?
Here we go.
We are tapped in.
Mike, we got you? All right, let's see if Stewie can fix this over there. All right, Stu, he's going.
The two.
Mike, I'm sorry. Start over. Mike, we missed you there for a little bit. Mike from Spring Hill, Louisiana. Start over. What you got?
You always take the over with LSU for two reasons. The LSU offense and the LSU defense.
That's right.
This is my first underplay of the year going into Auburn.
How old is the kid?
Oh, he's 16 months.
Wow, that does. It sounds brand new.
Put him on the LSU defense.
Right. Can he play cornerback? How's his hips?
I would put him out there before some of the guys we got out there right now.
Can
he turn his head?
Yeah, that's right. Thank you for calling, man. Anything else on your mind?
No, sir.
All right, man. Thanks for listening. Tell Junior hello. Back to the phone line, Stewie. How we looking over there? 707-400-5575.
No calls.
Okay.
Pressed the wrong button just now on my mic.
All right.
That's all right.
Tidy box.
But, yeah, I mean, we've pretty much, from everything you've seen against them, I mean, for the guy that called it and said, I might be out on this LSU football team, you know what you're getting. You know what experience you're signing up for every Saturday.
No, you're not.
Yeah. I
if
mean,
you're calling into podcast, you ain't leaving this weekend.
Right. And this is, I think, a situation where you see, thank God LSU won, because you're about to see a morbid campus for the Auburn game, and now it's going to be bumping again.
Mm-hmm.
You get that 6 o'clock Auburn game where it always feels a little different Auburn at night. It feels like the first real feeling.
Yeah.
Like you got Arkansas earlier this year, which felt the first real SEC home game, got a nighttime experience, and the place was, for the people that left early, those are the people that don't cheer anyway. So even with the environment, while it looked a little lackluster on television, the people that stayed are the people that are loud.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you love to see.
Back to the phone line, 707-400-5575. Have a take, don't suck. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
What's up, guys? Logan from Shreveport.
What's up, Logan? What's on your mind?
Man, so I was able to watch the game yesterday without emotion because I already knew the score from Saturday.
Okay.
The craziest thing to me is that the defense is just late. I don't know if it's they don't know exactly what's going on or if they're just timid, but everybody is late. Like Major Burns showing up late to passes where he should be in the spot sooner. And that's kind of mind-boggling to me how they haven't figured out how to get there on time. It's just like timing's off, everything's off when it comes to that. And so ultimately I think this defense is just a bend, don't break defense. And it's just how much can we bend before we break like we did against Ole Miss. So offense is never a question, but the guys on defense just they're not there on the point. And that's the biggest issue with me. So love the show, guys. Have a good one.
Logan, thanks for listening up in North Louisiana. Back to the phone lines we go. Stewie, let's handle this thing live. 707-400-5575.
It was Hunter Hall. He called and hung up.
Hunter Hall just dialed it back in.
A little stage fright there.
No, Hunter Hall got his Culotta shirt. He sent me a picture the other day.
Okay, nice.
And with a very conveniently placed Alabama license plate in the background.
Tied.
Alabama got to be feeling themselves this morning.
Yeah.
Leaders in the West. Quarterback growing up in front of their eyes.
Defense looked aggressive.
Developing a wide receiver in Jermaine Burton.
Defense does look aggressive.
Dallas Turner's going to be an issue.
Jermaine Burton shouldn't be. I mean, I guess they just swept that under the rug after he accosted 2 people last year on camera.
That's true. True, but it's slippery slope on the storm into the field thing.
Yeah.
Athletes.
You running into a buzzsaw.
Like you know what you're jumping that fence into.
Yeah,
right.
Did you watch the last 2 hours?
I'm still on 10 out here.
This is legal violence. Like
he went out of his way, but like Jacoby and Guillory, all bets are off. That man.
That's what I'm saying. Like you can't be running around like antagonizing these guys. I mean,
Jacoby and Guillory's 310 pounds.
It is like it's like the sideline reporter.
Yeah.
I mean, like you got to watch out what you say because the emotions are running so high, right? Like I mean,
those microphones are hot.
Yeah, we got Hunter Hall.
All right, back to the phone lines.
Congratulations, Hunter.
Congratulations, you got Blake Sims. I mean,
have a take. Do not suck. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It seems like we've seen this. Yeah, it seems like we've seen this before. Yeah, Hunter Hall here in Huntsville. Jordy Lloyd Stewie, happy Columbus Day.
Oh, yes.
Just in Columbia.
hey, that's right. I got a question. Jordy Lloyd Stewie, how many games a week do y'all watch on TV?
How many games a week?
Games, football.
All of them.
Oh yeah,
I probably watched 8. I probably watched 8 on Saturday.
Well, yeah, I'd probably.
I don't change it off of
7?
the LSU game.
Yeah. After LSU, I watch every game.
Everything I'm bouncing around.
I had 2 screens working Saturday.
Same.
And how many games do you see come down to one possession or something there at the very end? It seems like a third of the games every week.
Yeah.
Come down to that final possession, and you've got that time possession. You got the play sheet. The announcers say, "Hey, all these coaches they have a sheet that tells them how to manage the clock." Have y'all ever seen the sheet?
I've never seen the sheet.
I've never seen the sheet either. I don't think it exists.
I don't either.
I don't think it is. Because Lloyd, I think I sent you a message on Saturday night, 5:31 to go, in that Miami game. I said, "Hey, is Mario going to do it? Is he going to do it right?" He did the hardest part. He got 3 first downs.
You just hit me with the Mario. What are you doing?
Then he literally fails the easiest part of the clock management. Watching the Alabama game on Saturday. Blake Sims, Jalen Milrose threw the pass with under a minute to go, could have kneeled the ball out, had to throw the ball 40 yards downfield out of bounds to make sure we got the last 7 seconds off. It's just, hey, no offense to you guys. Last week, LSU shouldn't have got the ball back at the very end of the game. If Lane knows what he's doing. Saturday night, Lane screws up time management again at the very end of the game. I just don't understand how it is so hard to get time management right.
Hunter,
it's not. It's math.
I came into the show this morning. It was our lead segment. I thought Jimbo. I thought he flubbed the clock going into half. When he had the 2 timeouts, he was up 7. He's got a chance to get more points.
It drives me up. It drives me up to all. And then you got overtime rules. That second time in 3 weeks. Dion, the first one 3 weeks ago, didn't know.
Yep.
And
Arizona
now we got
coach.
Jets there.
Yep.
What are we doing? Well, when you're on that PJ going to New Jersey to recruit the kid halfway across the country, read the rule book. Not that hard.
It's amazing. It really is. I
think I'm going to start a consulting firm and just work my way across college football coaches every 3 years and pay an appearance fee and teach them the stuff.
It is not. I'm telling you, you might be making light of it. You might be trying to make a joke of it. I think it would be a thriving business model if you look at the amount of money that these colleges have and the ones that they have budgeted to the football program, if you don't think that Miami would scratch aside $1 million this morning for a clock management consultant, you're out of your mind. I mean, like, Les Miles would have made a clock management consulting company billions in the 2010s.
Blake Check.
Winning games is hard, and when all you have to do is take a knee, I mean, and you mess yourself out of it. I mean, that drives me up the wall as a fan. I just want to watch good football every night. I can't do it.
I agree, Hunter.
Hey, do me a favor this weekend, and don't take it easy on Auburn.
That's right.
We will not.
Put up 100. Put up 100. I'll see you all there. Heading down sometime this week.
Nice.
Hell yeah, buddy. Come say hello.
If you make it, it for Friday at lunch, let me know. We'll do a little football Friday.
All right. That sounds like a plan.
I'm dead serious on this clock management consulting in college football. I really think that could be, if you're a young high school coach, if you're a young coach on staff, and you really understand the intricacies of clock management in a football game, which Hunter is correct, it's nothing but math. This show would be terrible at it.
Oh.
I'm not saying that I'm the one to do it, but if there is somebody out there that understands how to win a game by managing the clock, I think a consulting firm with that in the title would make millions of dollars. Really and truly, I think that's the type of service that a team like Miami, a team like A&M, a team even like probably Alabama, as you heard, Hunter Hall, they flubbed it on Saturday. I mean, Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin last Saturday. There is $500,000 for a consulting company with the budgets that these programs have. I mean, they got, $500,000 in a football program's like a couple of quarters to you and I. I mean, you run up in there and say, hey, Mario, I could change your life for $500,000 if you just give me a headset, let me manage the game on the clock. I'll make you look like a superstar. Nobody even has to know who or that I exist. You give me a headset, I'll go hide in the press box in the corner, and my only job is to make sure you manage your timeouts and the clock correctly. Son, you're a billionaire. I mean, like, take that business model, get to the copyright, get that thing inked, and make sure that you hit up. I mean, like, think about what your sales pitch would be. And all you would have to have is one successful model. Like one guy, one team come out and give you a testimonial of, Lloyd's Clock Management Firm saved our life.
Well, I was talking to the guy on the booth.
Against Georgia Tech. If I wouldn't have had that firm, I'd have been out of work.
It just feels like it's out of sight, out of mind for the coaches too, because they got a million things going on. And then the one thing that they seem to forget about is how to manage the clock. I mean, if it's my consulting firm, if we're traveling around the country doing this thing, just pack up the Xbox 360, load it NCAA 14, and let's run a 2-minute drill. Let's see where we get. Because that's how I learned it. That's how a lot of people around the country learned it. The game went away, coaches forgot how to run the clock. Because the NFL does a great job of it.
Some people do.
Yeah.
I mean,
but like you can see it when it's happening in real time, the people that do it successfully, they tend to have a track record of doing it successfully. And when you see it work out the way that it's supposed to, it's glorious.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. I mean, it's a work of art. Sean Payton used to bleed the clock down and kick the field goal with like 3 seconds left, and it was one of like the most. And even he, towards the end of his Saints career, kind of started to mess the clock up a little bit. I mean, it's one of these things. I think it's one of these things that like you may think you master, but you never really do, right? Like, I mean, like, it's something that it can beat you in so many different ways. It's like math. I mean, there's so many forms of math, right? Like, I mean, like, for people like us, we look at like all the forms of math. I'm totally freaked out. I'm out. I'm not doing this. I can't do this. I'm not going to be successful at this. Who can I pay to do this for me? Right? Like, well, I mean, like, they have this, who had Kimberly W inside the chat, Victory Formation LLC.
Perfect.
I mean, like, sounds awesome. They got this business called Victory Formation LLC out there that consults coaches on how to manage the clock. Get them on the phone, pay them whatever they want.
It's a little shocking that if you're Miami's quarterback or offensive coordinator, if I mean, if I'm the quarterback in the huddle and I hear a play call come through the headset that is anything other than victory formation, I'm making the call. Like, fuck that. We're doing victory formation, coach. We're getting out of here with a win.
Absolutely.
Like, there's too many variable factors that could happen if you do one thing other than take a knee. You
saw it.
Yeah. And a lot of this has to do, I think, with college football is nobody gets under center anymore.
Right.
So they don't want to kneel it, or they'll kneel it out of shotgun. And that's another thing where I guess if they're in shotgun, their thinking is, well, hell, if we're not going to get under center, if we're going to be in shotgun, might as well run a play. When you could still just be in victory formation and shotgun, if that's what you trust your team to do more, just take a knee.
I mean, I heard that, like, they don't want to take negative plays.
Oh, God. Well, that's a negative play.
That's a fireable offense. You know, like, I mean, that's...
Hurting the yards.
What do you want me to do with that? I mean, so, well, coach, you got a positive play, but you turned the ball over and lost the game, so you're out of work.
Yeah, or yards per play higher than it's ever been at Miami.
I mean, take a 3-yard loss and get the hell out of there. I don't know, man. It's hard to watch some of the ways that these millionaire coaches mess the clock up. I mean, it's like you don't have somebody on staff just in a headset telling you, like, hey, man, don't use the timeout here. It just...
I mean, it's Cristobal, like Glimmer Fredette says in the chat. This started to make the social media rounds of he's never kneeled it.
Yeah, no, I mean they've got 2018 examples of him back at Oregon. This has happened to him before. Not as egregious where he could kneel the clock out. Like he could have. Well, the thing about Saturday and the reason why it's going to live on forever is because he did the hardest part. Like Lloyd said, he got the 3 first downs. Or like Hunter said it. I mean, like, he got to a point where you were like, okay, now you can kneel it.
You salted the game
and
away.
Like if you kneel it now, you can kneel it to a point where they will not get the ball back. They don't have any timeouts. And that's the part about Saturday for Cristobal that's going to live on that's just like, man, that's some elementary school stuff. I mean, that's some 5th and 6th, 7th and 8th grade football type of, like, coach, what are you looking at? What are you even thinking? But he's done this before. Had a lead, chance to kneel it out, or at least getting to, keep the ball away from somebody, and he's run it back into their hands and lost. That's the thing about coaching.
Do you think if he gets in this situation again, he kneels it? Do you finally see one? Because Miami fans would lose their goddamn mind.
If not, I would run him on the spot. I would be like...
Well, at this point, he has to stay... I
mean, that would be like an employee you saying, hey, man, you can't wear those slacks to work every day, and them showing up the next 2 times with the slacks on. And them, like,
we had this conversation.
Like, I mean, what do you mean to do the 3rd time he does it? What do you mean to do to this guy? I mean, you got to fire him. It just... like...
What do you think those team meetings are like today?
Oh, my God. Did you see the center?
Oh, yeah. What are we doing?
He's like, what the fuck are we doing?
Man was crying.
He was crying. That's what I'm saying, man. Like,
put my heart in this shit.
Coach, you lose a locker room like that. You know what I mean? Like, you think that guy was...
Oh, you can't even blame the running back.
He was all in Saturday morning.
Oh, yeah.
That guy was all in Saturday morning. Saturday night, he's like, what are we even doing? What are we even doing?
We won the football game.
What do we do all that stuff, man?
Georgia Tech's high.
All right, last caller. We'll get out of here on a Monday. Appreciate everybody's interaction. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Wesley from Atlanta, Louisiana.
Hell yeah, man. What you got?
All right, so is it just me, or did our defense play great against Mississippi State, or were they just a trash offense? Like, why can't we do that every week?
No, that's just you. Mississippi State's trash.
Trash offense.
Like, if we could play defense like that every week, we would be a top team in the nation.
Right. But, I mean, you don't play Mississippi State every week. I'm with you. But Mississippi State's no good.
Yeah, hopefully you get a little glimpse of something similar to that with Auburn.
That's all I got.
My man. Way to close us out. Great call. Appreciate you here on this Monday. Thanks for everybody listening. Thanks for all of the interaction. We will be back tomorrow with our award-winning guests on the show. Brooke Kirchhofer from New Orleans Football. Saints riding high after blanking the Patriots up in Foxborough, Mass. over the weekend.
Still get the under.
And we will also talk to our guy, Wilson Alexander, and his hair, back from Missouri. Auburn week. We'll start to preview it. Brian Kelly, noon today, press conference. We will have that recap for you tomorrow morning here on the show. Come back with us. If you have not subscribed, hit the subscription button. If you have not hit the thumbs up and liked us yet, make sure and hit that before you get out of here, as we appreciate you being here on this Monday. Have a great day. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., built by R&B Builders.
Play my theme music.
Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. Yeah, you see the notification, we about to go live. We got all your favorite guests, we got them in line. It's the Jordy Culotta Show, come have a good time. It's the hottest show around, we ain't gotta flex. Call up G, we get it done, we earning our respect. Tell recruits to let us in, where they going next. Throw up the L's, now we lit, band playing neck. From the boot to the east to the west coast. No matter where we at, we live, mic'd up for show. Open up the phone lines, come and join the show.